Questions?
Okay. Well, first thing, really proud of our guys. Came ready to play, short week. Coaches did an awesome job preparing them, and they showed up tonight. They started fast, which against this team, that was what we talked about. They did exactly that. So our guys, they worked hard. That hard work showed up. There's things to clean up. It wasn't perfect, we know that, but we won the turnover battle. We did things on special teams that were positive. We scored on those turnovers, the sudden changes. I think maybe one drive in there that we didn't. We scored in the red zone. Brett had a good night throwing the ball. We ran the ball better. So a lot of the things that we've been talking about that we wanted to improve, the work showed up, and I'm proud of our team, and I'm proud of their energy. We had a great night the night before the game, really enjoyed it, and we're able to celebrate tonight. So they'll have an opportunity to have a little bit of time to heal up, which they need to, because we had some guys banged up that got themselves back and did an awesome job of, working themselves back into playing in this game. So Colorado State, good football team, a lot of respect for Coach Boba, what he does, always has his guys prepared. I just thought tonight we came out, and the fast start was a key to our success, and some of the plays that were made on special teams, the one that we had, the onside kick, we talk about that, but you don't see that very often, where a guy just stabs the ball. I don't know if I've seen it live, and Avery tonight was outstanding. He had the punt return, we had the block in the back call. We'll look at that and see if that was right or not, in our opinion, but interception and some big plays. So just to have our team come out and just have fun, enjoy it, play the way they did, that was fun to be a part of, and certainly something that gives us momentum going into this week and preparing for the next game. So questions?
I don't know if letting out frustration is the right word, but you're coming off the home loss 2 weeks ago, and then last week the game didn't go quite like you guys had wanted. To have a total team effort like this and score 50+ points and just have what you said, a game that was a lot of fun. How much did you guys really kind of want to have an effort like this?
Yeah, no, the game last week was fun because we won that one too, so that wasn't disappointing to us. When we win, even in this game, we have things we want to correct, but we were happy with last week's win. If you go back and look at the series against Nevada, that was something that we're proud of. The home loss, no, we weren't. Every time you lose, you want to be better, and certainly tonight was about protecting the blue and coming out and playing our best game in front of our fans. The crowd was awesome. The orange out was great. That was exciting. I love the uniforms that we had on tonight. Our guys enjoyed that. So a lot of positives, and every single week, we weren't one of half the teams, at least this week, that lost. So we won, and we won last week as well. So hopefully we can keep putting these together, and we show up with the enthusiasm, the energy that we had tonight. We show up with the type of preparation that we had this last week, and those things become a part of who we are as a team moving forward. And if we do that, then we put ourselves in the fight each and every week to go find a way to win. If we don't, then somebody will beat us. So those are really the challenges. Every time we go out there and prepare is just to make sure that we have the kind of week we did and we can show up like we did tonight.
You kind of alluded to it a little bit, but your ability to create your own momentum, or whether it was Kala picking up a fumble and running it back for a touchdown, or turning those turnovers into offensive touchdowns. How big was that for you guys, being able to take a positive play and turn it into something, continue that momentum? Yeah,
you said it. That's really it. How do you continue to keep the momentum in games? And the only thing at the end of the half when they scored, you don't want that to happen, all right? And regardless of how much we're up, that concerns you because now they have momentum going in. So I thought our guys that came together, that wasn't what we wanted to happen. That wasn't the standard that we wanted, and we know we could play better, and they came out in the second half and we improved. But momentum is key in the game. You got to find a way to get it back. It may not be going your way, but you got to do something. Go out there, make a play, whatever it is, to get that momentum going back for your team. And taking the turnovers, the ball comes out, it bounces our way. Kala picks it up, we score. It's not just the ball bouncing our way, it's him and everybody else continuing to play. We're able to get turnovers. The offense goes out there and puts points on the board. I mean, really, when you're working that well together, you continue the momentum. You keep the momentum. Guys feed off of All right, the defense got a turnover, let's go score. The offense scored, let's hold them. We got field position, let's try to keep them pinned back. And Colorado State's hard to do that against. They run the ball well. Their receiver number 11, that guy's a stud. And, we got after the quarterback some, and we ended up making plays. But for the most part, we kept that momentum throughout the game, and I thought that was a big key for us.
Just feeding off that, on that collar return, he's blocking, all of a sudden he has the ball in his hands, and, now he's running forward. Just what type of concentration and what kind of awareness does that take just to pull off a play like that?
Well, I don't know, because I've never done it. So, but just being ready, right? I mean, that's what you have to have your mind set to, where whatever happens on this play, until it's over, you're playing through it, you're playing fast, you're playing with great effort, you're playing with great technique, and then things like that happen. And, a guy like Kala, you start, let's name a few of these guys, the Averys, Kalas, those guys, they're always around the ball. Tyler Horton, they're always around the ball, good things happen. And the ball came out, Kala's around the ball. Yeah, he picked it up and went and scored. Now you go back to San Diego State last year, did the same thing. Ball bounced up, he was able to take it and go score. So, I mean, his mindset, if you ever watch his highlight tape in high school, that's all he did. He just score and score and score and score. So, thought maybe put him on offense, right? Go out there and use him that way. But I think our guys mentally, they were ready for whatever. And I think you have to stay that way. We got the right guys out there, and certainly he was one of them. But not only him picking it up and just having the awareness of it, but the guys blocking down the field. John Hightower has a block there, and I'm standing right by him. He must have blocked him for 8 seconds. And that's hard to do in open space, but he's got his hands on him. He's running his feet the whole entire time, and we're able to score. So it's just a lot of those things that people don't always see that show up. Louis last week on the return touchdown, he had a block in there for about 6 or 7 seconds. He just running his feet, and did a fantastic job. So it's everybody playing together to make stuff like that happen.
Your wide receivers could put together probably as good a highlight tape as you've ever had around here through 6 or 7 games. And what is going on with those guys and the spectacular sideline, one-handed? Even that last one to Monster was a really tough. It was a beautiful throw, but it was just kind of right in the outstretched arms. And I mean, AJ, I think he must have forced 5, 6 missed tackles tonight.
He did.
What's going on with that group?
Yeah, well, I'll go back, Chad, to what we said. I think the internal positive competition within that group, how do they better themselves every week? They do these in practice. Not all these spectacular catches that you see, they're not all that way in practice, but they run hard. They're working to get themselves in those positions, and they know how to practice fast so they can play fast. But I didn't see AJ's other touchdown catch. I could see it from far away. I saw Sean's pretty clear, and he just drives at the end of it, and Brett throws the ball. The only place you could possibly throw the ball, and Monster's able to go get it. So I think it's a combination of our quarterbacks throwing the ball accurately to spots where our guys have a chance. They're going up and making plays, and that's happening in their preparation, and it's showing up in games. And I think there's some confidence in there as well that we can win those battles, we can make these plays. AJ on some of those bubbles, going out there making guys miss. I think he's done a really good job, the best I've seen him this year, where he's able to, in open space, go out there and break some tackles, which that's what we hope. You get guys in space, you want to see him break tackles. He takes care of the football. So I hope that continues. But those guys, in my opinion, they do those things throughout the week. They don't just show up. They're constantly working on it. They run the most out of anybody on our team in practice. I don't know. We've always kind of guessed 6,000, 7,000 yards. I mean, they're running every day, just routes, and that's routes on air. That's during team. That's when they have a chance during special teams to go work on a specific route. They're doing all those things. So they're just constantly working on their craft. And I think that's showing up. And I think that's a really intelligent group that understands what we're trying to accomplish each play, because they study, they know where to go, they can see coverages, and they've elevated their game in all those areas, and it's showing up. So I hope that continues.
Sticking with AJ for a second, I mean, he's almost got as many receiving yards this year as the last 3 years. combined. You know, and for him to kind of wait his turn like this and get this opportunity and be able to lead your group and do all the things you were just talking about, how nice, I guess, is that to see, and him being able to make the impact that, you know, he had hoped for.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'd say too, Chad, that they were all excited that Ced Wilson was back tonight. So Ced came
Oh, is
back.
he?
Yeah, Ced came back. He was out there, so you got a chance to watch those guys. So that was positive for them. They wanted to go out there and perform well. AJ's story is one of those that you just sometimes you got to wait your turn. And we've had this conversation. Not everybody's willing to do that. Sometimes you got to wait your turn. Sometimes you have to play your role and star in it. And eventually, you're going to have opportunities like he's having right now. So, to me, AJ's performances up to this point is very satisfying because of what he's been through to get to where he is right now. He's put in the work. He's never wavered. He doesn't complain. He's taken the opportunities in the previous years and tried to make the most of them, and now he's getting more of those opportunities. I think tonight, I don't know how many catches he had early on, but he seemed like the only show catching the ball early in the first half, in the first quarter. He seemed to be making a lot of the plays, so I think that's something that I hope people pay more attention to is seeing how he's gone about his business to put himself in the position he is right now. And we got a lot of football left, so we need him. We need him to keep playing big. We need him to keep having himself ready to go each week. But he's a senior. He's a leader. He's an example for that group. And I think for other players of just work hard, all right, and put the time in, and things, you know, eventually will go your way. And it's starting to show that for him.
How would you assess the defense? Kind of wanted to ask you that because CSU had the ball at year 32. Then they had a holding call, then there was a sack, and then a loss of one, then they had a punt, and that's when Canio ran that fumble back. How big was the defense? And I know obviously you look at the 28, probably don't like that necessarily, but how do you think those guys did out there?
I think they did well. I thought the plan, you know, and there was a few guys too that we had to move around. We talked about some guys being banged up. We know that Pierce is out. We know Mo is out. Those guys have done a really good job. We did hold them. They made some plays. You know, they had a couple of receptions in there for some explosives. Those things are going to happen. And the way the score was going, you knew they were going to come out. They kind of went with some tempo. They threw the ball down the field. I think the only negative play, not only negative because they scored, but the one at the end of the half where we cut the guy loose, you know, before going into halftime. And those guys corrected it. So those are fixable mistakes that we don't want to make, but I thought our guys tackled. I thought we played physical, all those things. We'll go back and we're very high with our standards when it comes to how our defense plays. And so, you know, Coach Avalos, the defensive staff, they'll go correct those things. And I believe our guys on the defensive side, they have a lot of pride in how they play. And so those coverage or tackling or miscues will be fixed. But they did go out there and they did make plays against a really solid offense, I thought, and you know, I thought there was a lot of positives in there to take away from it. So without studying it, like I said, we won the game. We won it, you know, fairly decisively tonight, and there's quite a few things that we want to go back and correct. And the nice thing is our team, at least in that locker room, their mindset was exactly that. Like, yes, we did. They were excited for the win, but the standard, you know, for what we want to do and how we want to continue to keep playing, it's there, which is exciting.